Hello everybody, and a warm welcome to Berringer. And I have a two-part video to give to you. One is a layout update, and that is to do with the big corner project, shall we say. And the second part will be a video response to a fellow YouTuber who kindly messaged me for some advice, and his name's David Neild. So this is going to be a video response to his query. And I'd like to say I've received his message about a few weeks ago, and I didn't even realise I had it. So I'd like to apologise for taking some time to get back to him. But I don't feel that YouTube are pretty good at letting me know that I have messages. That's the thing. It seems a bit awkward to get hold of them. So I've just come across it, and once again my apologies to David Neild for taking a bit of time to get back to him, but I will be doing in this video today. So let's go to the big corner project first. So here we are at the Berringer platform ends, as you can see, so you can get your bearings straight. And in my last video I did do a kind of what's coming up in terms of improvements and all the rest of it. And one of the areas I was going to tackle was this section here, with the point works and all the rest of it. So I've made a start, and I thought I'd show you what I've done. Now it's going to seem a bit drastic, I think, but overall it's going to work, she says, fingers crossed. Anywho, this is what we have. It's all the track work has been completely removed in preparation of laying a new track, and basically it's going to be done in two parts. And I've done the first part, which was to remove all the track work and all the ballasting and taking it back down to a clean surface. So that's what I've done, because the plan, if I show you, well, let me show you what I've done and then you can see for yourselves. Basically it's all been taken apart along here. Now obviously, as you know, if you remember, it kind of all fed into one line, and then after it just became a single line all the way through. So what I've done is I've created a double track, and that will feed over to the other side, which is where we have the canal scene, and back over to this end here. So this bit is untouched, and it will all still feed in the same way. It's just that what I was planning on doing is this main up and this one's a main down will basically become a double track all the way through now, instead of having the single track and the point work underneath the tunnel. And also I've just opened it out a little bit. So basically what I've done is I've done the mod rocking. I've then gone over it with filler, and just to give it this kind of mottled, uneven kind of surface, which is then going to be painted and given a rock face appearance very similar to that, although that's going to be repainted anyway. And basically I've done that all the way through. So as you can probably remember from before, from the canal that used to come sort of up down to here, and then it became a single track through. But now, like I said, I've just removed everything and opened it all out, so hopefully it's all going to be a double track all the way through from one end to the other end, and that will again improve the flow of the layout. It will also improve the speed of the layout, and hopefully the enjoyment and the running of the layout as well. I mean, because obviously here we just used to have this whole bottleneck of where everything fed into one track, so it was always a bit of a congested area. So that's what I'm doing. So this is the first part completed in terms of track removal and also removing the ballast. And actually the worst bit is actually removing the points, because obviously I didn't want to damage any of the point work, because I'm going to be needing the point work. So now what's going to happen is that there's going to be a point here, and everything's going to feed into the main down, and basically the main up is going to remain with no points at all until you get to that end where the curved points are going to join together to basically, so the outer line can join into the inner line to get to the station. So there's only going to be one point on the outside really. So basically this one will feed into the down main, and so will this one here feed into the down main eventually. So that's what I've been doing today. So that's quite a bit, because it has taken some time, because it's a lot of cleaning up and preparation work and all the rest of it. So that's what I've done. I've also bought a Dremel this week, which is something else I wanted to do, and the Dremel's been used to cut away things, and it's a very handy little tool. I was been meaning to get one for some time, but after I saw Richard at Everard Junction using his, it kind of almost sped up the process for me to go and get one, because I knew I needed one. So I did that. So basically that's the big corner project, and hopefully if you sort of see it from down this end, hopefully at some point you'll see it see that it's a more open layout and a more open approach, and like I said, it should be a lot better when it's done. So hopefully this week, well, by the end of next weekend, hopefully I would have laid the new track and tested it out and seen whether or not it's working. So currently there's no mainline services at all, for obvious reasons, due to engineering works. And as you can see from this side, you can see how much more open it is and wider it is. So hopefully that'll be okay. However, the branch line is currently unaffected. That's still running. And I also got some good news with just before I move on, I've got some good news with, let me just get it. Currently I use this little combi gauge master thing, and I've got two of these, and I blew this one up about a few months ago. I don't know why or how I did it. I was actually going to send it back to Gauge Master, and they said to me that's fine, we'll repair it for you and all the rest of it, because it's under warranty. However, I've just found out the other day that I just thought I'd give it another test, and it seems to be working again now. So now I've got this one back. So these little ones, because I'm actually going to buy a new system. I can't remember who makes it, but basically these two mini controllers one will be going off to New Shot, so you can run it as a little mini layout, and the other one's going to end up going to the fiddle yard end, so you can run the fiddle yard, and then the new power plant will be basically permanently attached around here somewhere, where all this slot is here, and basically I can run it from here as well. So basically it the layout can then be broken down into like 4 little mini layouts, as it were, and that's kind of one of the things that one of the many things that I'm trying to sort out over this next few weeks. I'm working very hard at the moment at work, doing the extra overtime and stuff, so I can have the things that I want for my layout. And one of the things that I want to do over the next few weeks up until the end of it, because I'm actually on holiday at the end of August, I'm planning to do a lot over that period, is to extend and hopefully finish the fill yard and deal with that, and the main fill yard that is. Also to get the new power supply in, and get that sorted out, and also have this track work done. So there's lots to be doing, and I've currently got 2 locos that I'm waiting on as well. So a lot of investment is going to be going into Berringer over the next coming weeks. So welcome to part 2 of the video, and this is the video response to David Neild, who sent me the message. And once again, my apologies for getting back to you. Like I said, I only just got your message, didn't realise I even had it. Anywho, this is to do with the China clay works he was asking me about. And the China clay works is a mixture of scrap wood, and that's for the base of the building, just any piece of scrap wood, and that's just for the bottom bit, just down here, just as a foundation. And then the rest of it is made out of card, and the great thing about card is it's not overly expensive, and if you get it wrong you can just chuck it away, it's not a big deal, and it's very simple to work with. The other thing is the supports here are made from this dowel, and you can get this doweling from any DIY store. So that's where the supports have come in, and then they're just painted in grey. The actual china clay itself, that is just all that is scrap newspaper, crumpled up, and it's got some mod rock on the top of it, so that just gives it its strength and rigidity. And then there's a layer of PVA glue that goes on top of that once that's all set, and then basically sprinkle a load of talcum powder until that sets onto the PVA, and then that will set solid, and that will give you the illusion that it's china clay. That's pretty much how I've done it anyway. As far as the actual building itself, the building is made up from Will's kits and their stonework packs that they do. They usually do it in packs of 4, and the dressed stone, and I'll give you the code of that, which is the one that I was using. The dressed stone is basically that all the way down, and that is the code of SSMP 202, and that comes in packs of 4. And basically that's kind of the basic frame of the woodwork of the china clay is. And the top is made from, I believe it's corrugated iron, I think I used. I think that's what it is. Yeah, corrugated iron, and that should be SSMP 216. And you can get this from your local model shop. And like I said, they come in like square sheets, and basically you just cut them to suit. And then all I've done is I've then filleted it as best as I could. I've painted it, and then maybe tried to weather it a little bit, and then also used some talcum powder also to age it as well. And that's pretty much what I've done all the way through. And if I say I take you for a closer look, that's pretty much it. It's quite uneven, but to be truthful with you, it's pretty good, because that's what it was. There's also, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little door frame from there, and that is basically to allow the people to come into that area and walk through. That was basically an old door left over from a Metcalf kit that I've just kind of used. And that's pretty much it. It's nothing terribly exciting. All I can say is, and it's the same for the little corner sort of house office you want to call it, it's again old Metcalf building leftovers. You know, the window is, and so is the door. And the thing is, scratch building, all you can do is give it a go and just see. Like I said, it's only made out of card. If it goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. I mean, before you do use the Will's corrugated iron and dressed stone, or whatever you choose as your preference, just see if you're happy with the building. Just test fit it and see if you're happy. If you think it's too big, then cut it down or whatever before you actually, because that's where the money is. The money's in the dressed stone and in the corrugated iron, because these sheets cost money. But the actual base of the building, like the card and the doweling, it's not overly expensive, and you can just sort of do it as a trial and error thing. Talcum powder costs next to nothing, and when I say talcum powder, it's literally just talcum powder from any supermarket, and that works pretty well, and it's very, very cost effective. And I agree with David in terms of how much the buildings are. From Batman, and all these resin buildings do tend to cost a lot of money, and sometimes personally I actually get a lot of satisfaction from making my own buildings, because then I know they're my buildings that I've built, and that pretty much nobody will have them, and it gives you that own personal satisfaction that you've actually built your own buildings. I mean, there are some buildings that I have bought, and one of the examples is just here, which is basically Offord on the Hill station, which is a suburban Batman Scenecraft, and it's a beautiful building, but I think this was bought before the prices went up now, so that probably now is a lot more expensive because of all the China workforce prices and labour charges going up, so that's probably a bit more expensive. But yeah, I mean, the buildings on my layout are a mixture of scratch built. This particular one was donated to me kindly, given to me from Graham at Lakeside. So there is a mixture of buildings on mine. Some are scratch built, and in fact the majority of them are, I think, scratch built, and then there are some which I've bought, some which were given, some which are brand new, some which are second hand. So there's a real sort of mixture, and it depends what you want on your layout too. At the end of the day, there are some buildings you may want on your layout that just aren't available, and the only way to get them is to basically make them yourself. If you're interested also in the flooring, that is also a Wills sheet, and that's also called cobbled stone, I think it is. Let me see if I can get you the number for that, since I've actually got the book right here. And all that is just painted, and whilst the paint is wet, you just go straight over it with talcum powder and age it, and basically the talcum powder ages it and gives it that kind of used look. And then afterwards I've gone over it with some shoe polish just to give it that kind of tinge. And the code for that is going to be, let me see now, cobblestone. Well, I think it's actually called granite sets. Actually, it's very similar to cobblestone walling, but it's actually granite sets, and that is SSMP 204 for the granite sets, which is this over here. So I hope that answers some of your questions, your question I should say, and please feel free to ask whatever, and if I can get back to you I will do, and my apologies for the delay. And like I said, messages are quite difficult for me to find for some reason on YouTube. They don't seem to come that easily. So if you do have a message for me, it's probably better just to put it in the comments box and just say, please read my message, and then I can go and check it, and that's probably the easiest way of me getting back to you. So there shouldn't be any more delays, but hopefully this has been more than useful. And one of the other things I'd like to do whilst I'm here at some point is probably add a couple more China clay wagons as well to this little rake that I have here. But I'm very pleased with this section actually, the new shot end. It's probably one of my favourite areas of the layout. But hopefully the big curve project, the big curve and the corner project I should say, the big corner project should be coming along nicely this week, and hopefully that will open up the layout a lot more. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to comment and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon when I have some further developments. So bye for now.